5. Trouble. The evening brought a sultry dusk, full of bugs, without a breeze. Foothills surrounded Beaks of Two Birds Mountain. But there was one that stood out, a giant man-made hill around which everyone camped. The top was flat, its shape rectangular, and all the sides sloped down at the same angle. The eastern slope featured a steep pathway of steps from the base of the mound to its top. After Sharn's people had arrived, the elders of their village ascended the steps for a great meeting at the top of the mound. They had been up there a long time, and would probably be up there for a long time still. Sharn could understand most of the tribes who lived near Kuali Danelands and passed through from time to time, whom they traded or shared news with. Even their greatest enemies, the Kote, could mostly understand and be understood by the Kuali, but certain words and phrases between tribes differed and could lead to catastrophic misunderstandings. For important meetings, chiefs and elders always insisted on translators who were fluent in both languages. With this great gathering of so many tribes from so many places, most of the meeting would be spent translating greetings and questions and answers back and forth, around and around. It did not seem fun, but still Sharn wondered what they talked about up there. Bored, he and Kuchio decided to walk beyond their camp. He told his mother, who looked straight past him at Kuchio and said, "No trouble, you hear?" "What?" Kuchio said. "Why, look at me. What about Sharn?" Sharn's mother did not speak or even blink, just stared at Kuchio. Fine, okay," he said. "No trouble." "I can't believe everyone thinks I'm a troublemaker," he said on their way out of camp. "Really?" "Well, okay, I mean, yes, I do get into trouble sometimes, but come on. Everyone thinks you're perfect." "I mean, I kind of am." "Ha! You're just scared, whereas I am brave and fearless and full of courage. Those all mean the same thing, and I'm not scared. I'm just wiser than you. I don't do things that get me into trouble because I know which things will get me into trouble and I don't do them." "Well, just for once, I'd love to see you do something brave and foolish and make some trouble." "Keep hoping," Sharn said. Something ran at them in the near darkness. They both froze and reached for their knives. The running thing stopped a spear's throw away, then made a noise like a person humming to themselves. They walked on, a bit more cautious now. "It's her again," Kuchio said, "the Rasi girl." "Tenka," Sharn remembered. The humming stopped when he said her name. "What do you want?" Kuchio asked. "You know she does not understand," Sharn said. "Why even ask?" She stared at them as they walked past, then fell in line beside them. "Oh no," Kuchio said. "She's just going to follow us around all night. What is wrong with these people?" "Shh," Sharn said. "Some of them might understand you." "I very much doubt it." First, they walked among the Kuali Dane camps. Sharn and Kuchio recognized some people from other villages and greeted them, but did not talk long because Tenka kept following them, and they did not want to answer questions about why they brought a foreigner in among their camps. They said hello to Durdin, who was older, about 30 winters, and cousin to both their fathers. His village back home was a little ways south of their own. "Who is this?" he asked, nodding at Tenka. "She is Tenka of the Rasi," Sharn said. "She keeps following us," Kuchio said. "We don't know why." "You are Kuali Dane," Durdin said, "the greatest of all tribes. We are the flame and all other people are moths." He laughed. "Or maybe she thinks you both miss your little sisters following you around everywhere and she is trying to comfort you." He laughed again. "She can go play with them then," Kuchio said. "Where are the Kuwiktikan?" Sharn asked Durdin. Kuwiktikan meant young men, or more literally, men who have not yet been chosen, Males like Sharn and Cuchillo, who had graduated from boyhood to manhood, but were not yet old enough for the mating rites, when they would present themselves to the young women of the other villages to be chosen by one as mate for life. "They have run off to spy on the other tribes," Durdin said. He rested his hands on his hips and bent his back, sticking out his wide chest and belly, and looked up at the sky. They heard his back crack and pop as he twisted side to side. "Probably they will get themselves into trouble and I will have to go fix their mess." "We will try to find them," Cuchillo said. "Yes, you should do that," Chief Durdin said, then looked at Sharn. "Make sure they don't do anything stupid." "Why are you looking at Sharn when you say that?" Cuchillo asked. "What? No," Durdin said, looking at Cuchillo. "See, I am looking at you too." He leaned toward Sharn and put his hand beside his mouth, as if to prevent Cuchillo from hearing, and loudly whispered, "You know I was looking at you, right, Sharn? Because your cousin is just as much a troublemaker as the Kuwiktikan of my village." He winked, then laughed, and walked away. Sharn looked at his cousin, whose eyebrows were knotted and lips pursed in annoyance. "If you were not sure of your reputation before today," Sharn said, "you know it now." "Shut up." Sharn smiled. They turned and walked the other direction, out of the Quali camps, around the perimeter of the great mound. Tenka disappeared from time to time as they walked, but always returned. Cuchillo did not hide his aggravation at having her with them, but she seemed not to notice, too busy looking around, taking it all in. They walked aimlessly past the other tribes' camps, keeping the great mound to their right. They smelled meat over the cook fires, some tribes having freshly hunted or caught their food, others having dried and preserved theirs for the journey. They heard stories and laughter in other dialects and languages, saw exotic people wearing the hides or bones or teeth of exotic animals. Then amidst the festivities they heard the sound of angry voices shouting and cursing, and Sharn realized some of them were speaking Kuali. "That's the Kote camp," Cuchillo said. "Oh no," Sharn said. "If there is trouble, it will be the Kote causing it. Everything they do is trouble." The two of them ran toward the noise, where they saw a crowd of young men faced off against each other. "Get off me, rat face! Make me son of excrement! Get off him! Go back to your rat hole! Shut up, frog fornicator! Watch out! He's got a tomahawk! He's going to chop off my hand! Let go of him right now! Talk to my blade! Ah!" There was a horrible scream as Sharn saw a young Quali man fall backward out of the crowd with a spear through his belly. The group erupted in chaos, a tangle of arms and legs and heads. Cuchillo jumped into the fight as Sharn stood, watching, not knowing what to do. Everything went quiet except grunts and groans, and sounds of flesh hitting flesh and bodies thudding against the ground. Sharn grabbed the closest Qualdi person and dragged them away from the fighting. "Stop!" he yelled in the man's ear. "Calm down!" The young Quali man looked at him, yelled, "Traitor!" broke free, and ran back into the fight. Sharn heard a bellowing voice behind him. "What is the meaning of this?" He turned and saw Durdin marching toward the group, brandishing his massive war club. Durdin ran past Sharn, holding his club down toward the ground. The big man began swinging as he entered the fray, using the flat and mostly non-lethal side of the club. Kote and Quali fighters rolled and stumbled out of the circle, whacked away like rodents. Durdin stood at the center of the mob, turning slowly around, daring anyone to come near. The young men stayed back, holding bruised limbs and bleeding faces. 3 lay half dead on the ground, 2 Kote bleeding from knife wounds, and the young Quali man with the spear in his gut, crying and groaning in agony. Sharn knew the speared man. His name was Kyrntyne. He was from Durdin's own village, and like all of them, barely older than a boy. Durdin bent down and rolled the young man over. He stepped on the spear shaft with one foot and pulled on the spear with both hands. The spear broke with a loud crack. Kyrntyne tried but failed to hold back screams as Durdin threw the shaft to the ground and then lifted the young man to his feet. Sharn ran to help, but Durdin glared at him and said, "You've done enough. I've got him." Durdin looked around at the mob of young Quali and Kote and said, "The wisest of our people are up there on that mound trying to make peace between our two tribes. And here you lot are, killing each other for no good damn reason. May Great Spirit forgive your stupidity, because I will not. Return to your camps, all of you." He saw Kuchio, holding his bleeding nose. "Kuchio, help me with Kyrntyne." Sharn watched as Durdin and Kuchio half carried and half dragged Kyrntyne away. "Seen wounds like it," a voice beside Sharn said. "Die tonight or tomorrow, next week maybe." "Tenka," Sharn said. "You can speak our tongue?" "Course, same us, little different, most same." "Is it true what they say? In your tribe, the women hunt and fight and the men stay back in the village?" Tenka pulled a long knife from a sheath at her back, belted around her waist. She held it up sideways in front of him. "This look toy?" Sharn raised his eyebrows. "Right," he said. "I guess that answers my question." He looked around, suddenly realizing all the Quali had left with Durdin, and now he was standing on the edge of the Kotai camp with a wild Rasi girl holding her knife in the air. "Let's go back."